Name is Jennifer. Here we go. Hi, welcome. My name is Jennifer Polk. I live in Colorado. Just flew in this morning from Florida. It was actually warmer in Colorado today. It was 70 some than it was in Florida, which is crazy. We're selling our home. So I got a whole 1 hour of sleep last night because of craziness. But guess what? I'm activated, so it's not a problem. Yay! We are in for such a treat this evening. I'm going to quickly share my story because we have some other people from other teams on. And then I get to introduce my amazing co-host, Mrs. Jatasha Harris. And we are in for a treat tonight. We are covering habit number 5 of the habits of highly effective people from Stephen Covey's teachings. It is seek first to understand before being understood. And what it was amazing that her and I got to meet at the training that LifeVantage was so generous. They paid for, which is just so amazing. So a little bit about myself. I have a background in social services. I love, 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 love people. Um, and I had this yearning though to be a stay-at-home mom that I didn't know about. Because when I was working for social services, went through 4.5 years of infertility, couldn't get pregnant, finally got pregnant, was staying home. And then when my son was 3, his dad was given 2 to 5 years to live. And it was devastating, just literally just flipped our whole world around. And thank God we found activation because after activation, it really helped him. And Duke University now is doing their 3rd study reversing this illness that he has, and he is very much alive. We did end up, I know it's amazing. And my son now is, gosh, he's going to be 28. It's dry. It's just so crazy. We did get divorced, and it's okay. And we have a good relationship. Funny, when you're dealing with catastrophic things like that, things happen. And now I just got married last year, have 2 bonus kids, and life is amazing. And I'm blessed to be an executive consultant. I can't imagine not doing LifeVantage ever, ever, ever. So, with that being said, I get to introduce my new friend, and it was so fun. I love when Love Biome when we joined forces with Love Biome. I don't know who needed who more. Just saying. I just the event, and I remember Kathleen was on our team. She really connected with Fred, Jatasha's husband, and he was on one of our team calls early on. And then Jatasha and I, we were so blessed and honored to be a part of this amazing Stephen Covey training that the company paid for. And I was like, "You're my girl!" Like, come here. So they are from Raleigh, North Carolina, 3 children, and I'm going to let her share her story with you, and then we'll get on with this training. Yes. So, Jatasha, without further ado.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Jennifer, for allowing me to just be on your platform with your team. And I also see my team here as well. Some of them, I invited them on to come. So this is just so awesome getting to know everyone in a more intimate space and just hearing stories and testimonies and just hearing your story. I didn't even know all the other things you just shared, which is, I mean, oh my goodness, mind blowing. So such a blessing. But yes, I too just instantly, once we connected, I was like, oh, yes, that's my girl. And I just appreciate it because I know we shared some things in a more intimate group, and you just came up. And I don't know if it's because of who you are, the social work background in you. You was like, that is okay. I understand where you're coming from. So that was so awesome to hear, just another person understanding where I was coming from. So I appreciate you and thank you. So, yes, hello to everyone, Team Hope, and of course, our team as well. I'm excited, about this industry of network marketing. We were introduced, or I should say, I was introduced to it 2006. So I'm not new to the industry, but I didn't get serious with this industry until 2018. But so many great things happened in that time frame. I met my husband, who you heard Ms. Jennifer just talk about. We met in that industry. We were sidelined to one another under the same leadership, but sidelined. And we became accountability partners first, right? And so we would just check in on one another. And then, basically just the energy and the synergy. And the beautiful thing about this industry is that when you're under leadership and you're being trained, like minds, right? You start to connect even more. And so fast forward, we're going on 18 years this year of being married together. So yeah, so many. So if you're single and right now, there's hope, right? Just don't worry. They're coming. He's coming. She's coming. So we got serious in 2018 with the industry. And so we were in not a whole lot of companies. We were in a health space before, but just kind of taking care of one part of the body. And that's where we learned more and more about, growth and leadership and development and focus and all of that and started going on to trainings and things of that. And then things have kind of turned around a little bit for us just in that company. And so we went into the financial space of the network marketing industry. And that's where we learned strategies that helped us to bring my husband home. He was a detective with the police department. And so no longer having a boss, he's still a police officer, but not an employee. So he's almost like a 1099, a contractor for the police department. And so that is awesome. And we needed that him to be home so we have more time freedom to be available for our children, to be at, events and things like that. And then also, of course, we saw that we can make a lot of money in this industry without having our time, limited by, PTO and all of that stuff. I walked away from corporate, but not because of network marketing. It was for me a leading from the Lord. And so here we are. Fast forward, we got introduced to Love Biome 4 years ago by Mr. McCasey Anika. Some of you seen him on stage in Dallas, and then around, on podcasts and things like that. And we had a relationship with him already. We trusted him, so it was easy for us to step into this space. And from there, we ran with this thing with Love Biome, and then here we are now in Life Vantage. So this is a perfect marriage, like Jennifer said. We're excited to be here. Didn't even know LifeVantage even exists, and to learn about Protandem and all the other amazing products that you guys have. And now we get to share in on that. And then, of course, the P84, we've been on it for 4 years, a blessing. We started in Love Biome in the very beginning, 2 months after they opened up the doors, before they even launched the company. And so we've been around on the products. We didn't have health issues that I like to tell people, don't, think you have to have health issues. We said yes for preventative purposes, but my parents and my husband's parents, they passed on before the age of 60 because of health issues. So that's why we're very passionate about this, because they're not here to benefit from it, but we have so many other people we're connected to that their parents and family can benefit from. And of course, the income is awesome. It just allows us to have the freedom that we're looking for. And then we get to help people, meet people like Jennifer and you all, and everyone else on our team as well. So that's our story. And I don't want to go too much longer because I know we only got a few minutes, but I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Jennifer.
Oh, I love it. I love it, right? The perfect marriage indeed, indeed. And just I just want to say, and you guys can stand too. So after we get done, I'll stop the recording and then we have some announcements and things. Normally we do it in the beginning, but these have been such special calls. I just wanted this to be clean, a clean copy. So, well, wonderful. I am going to start sharing my screen here. Okay. Oop, let me admit. Sorry. I should have given you co-hosting abilities. Here we go. Can you see okay? Can you see the screen? Thumbs up.
Yes.
Awesome. So, oh, I'm telling you, this training has been such a blessing. And every week I've just been teaming up with different people that were at the event. And this one to me, well, there, I, I tend to keep saying, "Oh, this was my favorite," and I'm like every single one. But I was like, "Oh, this was my favorite too." Seek first to understand, then be understood. Because so often, how many times we're talking to somebody and you're already thinking about how you're going to respond. I don't know about you, but it gets me in trouble when I do that. And I'm like, ah. So when you saw this habit, Jatasha, what did you think about it at first?
When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's me. That is me. That I can tell you is something that I am working on big time. And the
Right.
thing about it is that it's not because I want to cut people off or I want to be rude or anything. I just get excited when I hear information or something that someone says. And then because there's be so many good things that they're saying, I don't want to lose what I'm thinking. However, it's
Mhm.
not good. And so that's
No,
something I've been working on for a very long time, trying to train myself to just hush, don't say anything, hold it, try to remember what you're going to say, but listen to them and don't look for a reply. So, I mean, when I heard it, it hit me big time.
no, absolutely. And this principle is the principle of respect. RESPECT, one of my favorite songs of all time. Habit 5 is truly about listening to others and honoring their perspectives. And it's about having the courage to respectfully say what we think and feel as well. And I do believe what Stephen R. Covey said. We have such a tendency to just rush in and fix things. I'm a fixer. Ask my husband with good advice, right? But often we fail to take time to diagnose, to really deeply understand the problem first. And that's something I've been really working on, is to ask more questions. And even if I think I know, because sometimes it's like, that is not what I thought that was going to be at all. Okay, come on, my little slide deck. Here we go. There we go. Okay, I know this is a lot. This would be a great time to take your camera out and take a screenshot of this. Oh gosh, sorry. See, anybody could do this. Anybody can be an executive and not. so, so during each one of these habits, we have the common paradigm. And paradigm, for those of you that haven't been with us, it's like we see the world with a pair of glasses. So we're both wearing glasses, but what if I took Jatasha's and she took my glasses? We wouldn't see right. Well, we see the world as we see it, not as it truly is. So the common paradigm is I need to get my point across, versus the highly effective paradigm is to communicate effectively with you, I need to understand you first. So yeah, I don't do you want to go through this, or do you want to like go back and forth on this one, or
Yeah, we can go back and forth on it.
okay.
I mean, I think, the biggest thing that a lot of people who do struggle in this area is, they would say the part of the listening to understand. And, a lot of times we have either a reply to something that someone says or a comeback for something someone says, but we haven't earned or built that trust or relationship with them first to be able to offer anything. So they have to feel comfortable. We got to give them that space and hold that space for them to feel comfortable, for them to trust us, for us to even repeat back what we heard them say so they understand that we're listening. Then, when that happens, especially us in network marketing, when we operate from that space, what I find is that people then are willing to tell you stuff and they want to give you more information because now they see that you value what they're saying and you have a level of respect for them. So they open up to you, and now you can actually get what it is that you're looking for, which is information, so we can then turn around and help them. So it literally is a win-win. And I know that's another habit, but it becomes a win-win when we operate from that place. So yes. Oh, did we
Awesome.
lose her?
Here,
Oh, there you go. Okay.
back. I am back. I That was a first. I haven't done that on a team call. Thanks. See, this is why we do stuff with other people. So if you have
Right.
things like that, wonderful.
I got
Okay.
your back. Don't
Thank
worry. I
you.
got
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. That was crazy. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to watch for the signals inside of us. So, when those emotions are really, really high, the trust goes way down. And
Mhm.
Stephen Covey's son, another Stephen Covey, wrote a great book. It's called The Speed of Trust. It's I highly recommend it. And he says with people, slow is fast and fast is slow. But if we can shift when we have our high emotions
Yes.
to really just slow down, right? Oh,
Somebody give me
oh, yep. Hold on one second. Go ahead. Okay. And then if we need to get our heart, if we need to get our heart into the issue, and if you feel that you don't understand or the other person doesn't feel understood, you're gonna get those red lights. That's when we need to slow it down. Sorry, let me get over here.
Are you sharing your screen, Miss Jennifer? Because we don't see anything.
You're not seeing it now? Okay, hold on.
Mm-mm.
Back over here. Oh, no, no, no. Um, here, and I'm going to put some people on mute here. There we go. Thank you. After it. Oh, wow. And it totally took it down. See, I'm telling you guys, thank you for being so kind. Okay, took me out of that. We will get back over here. Okay. So sorry.
No worries.
Okay, here it comes. Can you see it now?
Yes. Yep, you're good.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So we want to watch for those signals. The red lights, the yellow lights, right? Slow down, and the green lights. Again, if we get that green light, we're seeking to be understood. When we know what the issues are, right? We can clearly know what's going on by asking questions, and the conversation is more casual and unemotional. When
Mm.
anytime that we feel like our emotions are like, then it's like, and we talked about that on the very first habit about box breathing, breathe in 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds in that pause, and then breathe out for 4 and then hold back in. And that gets us from the sympathetic system to the parasympathetic. And then the conversation is more casual and unemotional, because that's what we want to when we're trying to really understand someone. Okay. Anything else on this one?
Nope, you covered it. I love it. I love the breathing exercises. Yes. And
Mhm.
you'll find that when you do take that second, because we're so quick to want to respond, you just take a minute, then the response that you had changes. And you find that you don't even want to respond with how you were going to respond initially when you take that minute. So yes, I love that they talked about that.
Especially for those of us that are parents.
Yes.
And then the last thing that we'll cover is the 3 ways to be understood. And it's all about credibility, heart, and then you go to your head.
Mhm.
And it is the faith, credibility is the faith others have in our character, in our integrity as well. And I love, some examples here as your trusted partner, right? That adds that credibility, or as someone who has done this before, or I genuinely want this the best for you. And if we
Mhm.
come from that heart space, then you'll get a different response as well from, and a lot of times you'll be able to de-escalate the situation from the other person as well, going into their heart and their head. And again, these are all examples that you can use for different conversations that you have. Anything else, Jatasha?
I love the examples, again, validating what people, go into the heart place. I know you feel frustrated. Again, when I think back to network marketing, when someone gives us, an objection to something, will say, I know what you mean. I understand how you feel. I used to feel the same way. And so, like you said, that de-escalates the conversation or the scenario that is in that, conversation that you're having with the person because they expect you to try to convince. But when you agree, to then have them look at it from another perspective, it changes everything. And again, that allows you to just get in, to their world just a little bit more, and they let you in when you can understand where they're coming from and not try to change them, but to give them a different, perspective. So yes, I love that I share your excitement about. I was also surprised to hear again another form of validation to how they felt. And that's being interested first before being interesting, which we
Yes.
talk about a lot.
Absolutely. And then because when we're talking from the head, right? The head is all about logic and evidence. And the evidence suggests, but that is after you go through the credibility and the heart. Because if you just like go in all guns ablazing, well, the evidence suggests you're gonna end up with this, right? Hold on there.
Yeah.
But if you start with the credibility and then go to the heart, and then then you can say, well, I was looking at, and what I found was, we have these studies that show this and this and this. I don't know if you've seen that before. And then again, that's more of a conversational thing, not you don't have those emotions aren't as high as well. Or our research shows. That is always great. We live in an age people want to see that. Well, we have that at Life
Yeah.
Education Love Biome. We have that research. I'm so excited. P84 is going to be patented. That's like the bomb. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, and then oop, I am just it's not having a good there. So again, when we really deeply understand each other, we open the door to creative solutions. Our differences are no longer stumbling blocks to communication and progress. Instead, they become the stepping stones to synergy.
I love that.
I know I was like, oh, I have to use that one.
Hmm.
And then just to recap, so this is all about seek first to understand, then to be understood. And it's the habit of respect, RESPECT, right? And it's truly taking time to understand. We try to be understood. And I love this. So after each habit, we talk about, when we see our glasses, our paradigm to communicate effectively with you, I need to understand you first. I got to figure out what you're even saying and talking about. And I wrote down in my notes, even if I think I know the answer, to ask, because a lot of times that is not what it is at all. And so then we do the practices by listening empathetically and then respectfully seeking to understand, using like the red light, yellow light, green light, using some of those different practices that we just talked about. Then we get those results of deeper understanding and connection with others. And then you'll get increased trust and effective communication as well. Yes, yes, yes. Any last things, Jatasha, on this?
I love this. Not really much of last things, but just a few tips, again, and this is stuff that we've already been saying when I wrote down, listen, focus on understanding first, create the foundation of trust and connection. That's huge. Listen without interrupting, and we're going to have these available for everyone to, jot down. But these are just things to have in the back of your mind as you're having conversations with, prospects, even people within your team, your existing customers. I love the ask piece that you just mentioned, Jennifer, because, repeat or paraphrase to show that you're engaged. And then pay attention to the body language. That's another thing. Actually, there's some stats there that experts have um, put out and have said that uh, words are only 10%. Okay. And then the sounds are 30%, and then body language is 60%. So a lot of times we don't read the room And when I say read the room, meaning read the person and listen to them and look at them and not just say what it is that we want to say. And they'll tell us so much with their emotions and, their body language. So that can help us as well. Ask those open-ended, thoughtful questions. But a lot of times we don't ask, we don't say, well, what I'm hearing, it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is. Because a lot of times we'll just say whatever it is we thought, and then they'll turn around and say, no, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, so that's getting back to the listening. And then hold the space for the person to feel safe and supported in the conversation. And I kind of shared that earlier. Give them that freedom and give them that grace to whatever it is that they're going through or feeling, and then just say, I understand. I thank you for sharing that. I appreciate, you being open with me about that. I value that, and when they hear that, it opens them up a little bit more to receive what it is that you have for them. So that's all
Yeah.
I have, Miss Jennifer. Those are just some notes and some recap from this habit.
I love that. I love that. And something I had written down before is to after you ask questions, right? Because we're trying to understand them. In my mind, I picture myself like shutting my mouth, going, and because a lot of people, if you're, I don't know, if you're like me, I'm thinking about how I'm going to respond. And sometimes it takes me a while to formulate my thoughts into what I want to say. So, so often before, and I still do sometimes, but I'm getting much better. Before I'm like speaking, I'm going to let them think about it and then answer. So sometimes people are very uncomfortable with silence. That's one thing I've gotten really good with is silence because they're thinking about it and it's okay. It's okay to have some silence in there. So hopefully that will help. And then I think the last thing is next week you can join us again. These are all recorded. It's the same time every week. And next week I have I think it's Kathleen Kangas, an executive with LifeVantage, Kathleen Kangas, and we're going to be talking about Synergize. And then the last week, we have Miss Lacey Nielsen and myself. She's in Thailand right now, and we'll be um, talking about sharpening the saw. So I'm going to stop sharing and thank you. Does anyone have any questions, any quick questions or comments? And then I'm going to
I
have my
would,
team.
I think I'd just like to make a comment, having been in the social services world myself, one of the things that, we regularly practice wasn't just listening, but it was how we listened, and sometimes, we listen, but it's like we're still in our own thoughts. And so we're not really grasping how that person is feeling if we're not in their thoughts. And so I just say that sometimes we have to kind of put, and I'm guilty of this, so I could say this with flavor, is that we have to put our own, thought ego aside and really just listen to the person and really hear what they're saying and, get to know who they are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, MJ. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jatasha. I'm going to stop the recording and then